All right. Been a while since I did one of these, so I'm going to kind of drop in and I'm gonna do a live like this one of these days. Where if y'all have any questions, y'all can ask me questions about some of the videos I've made in the past or anything like that. But today, I'm just gonna kind of give y'all a heads up. It's not really a heads up. Some of y'all might already know this. Some of the stuff I'm gonna say, which is fine. But I'm kind of trying to get a lot of y'all to kind of reorient yourselves with how you're looking at the business and freight rates and so on and so forth. So the I made a video probably I don't know a year ago talking about the end of the trucking fad. Your YouTube trucking fad. All this stuff started with Amazon and box trucks and so on and so forth. Everybody got all pumped up about doing this and doing that. And for the guys guys and girls have been doing this for a long time, um, y'all already kind of knew how a lot of that was going to end. I think we're dealing with that right now in the industry. We're still waiting for capacity to leave the system. We had we know what happened with COVID. We know what happened with the snapback with all this pent up demand, coupled with government stimulus that led to this pop in consumption, which also led to a lot of work for us. We had a big build out with Amazon. That led to a lot of work for a lot of truck drivers. A lot of y'all already know who are hip to Amazon. You know that Amazon has warehouses that they built that they have never used around the country. So this is starting to shift. So I guess what I'm trying to really hone in on is the idea that um, we're going to be dealing with lower rates for a longer period of time, I believe. And I think that's kind of the point. I think when we look at, let me see, I'm gonna share a tab real quick. Okay, and on this tab, it's a Bloomberg article. It says the Fed needs to forget about inflation and focus on jobs. Right now, the problem with this article is when you listen to what the Fed's been saying specifically, and y'all, if any of y'all are paying attention to this, the Fed has been saying specifically that the reason that they were going to increase interest rates was because the job market was too hot. They kept saying it. The job market's hot, it's strong, it's this, it's that. Now you and I, we know, come on, we know that's bullcrap. The best thing going as far as following that lie would be to say that there were people who didn't want to return to the workforce after COVID, and some of these people couldn't return to the workforce after COVID because, well, they died, and some of them just didn't want to come back, right? But we also know that that's not a hot job market because we still know plenty of people out here who are underemployed or unemployed. And that bears out in the demand data, and that bears out in the credit card usage data, which is at an all-time high for the series, right? So the point they're missing is the Fed was intent on lowering employment, so they wanted to increase unemployment as a way to lower demand, which in their mind would lower inflation. Okay, so again, the Fed wants employment to decrease and unemployment to increase to reduce demand in the marketplace, which would reduce inflation. I know what y'all are saying. That doesn't make, well, it makes sense, I guess, in a roundabout way, or Rube Goldberg device type way, but it doesn't make any sense logically because you're still not taking into account the fact that the inflation came from the stimulus, and they don't want to acknowledge that the inflation came from the stimulus. Okay, we all know. I made videos about it. We know what people were paying for trucks 2 years ago. We know what these trucks are selling for now. All right. We know why they were paying the prices they were paying for the trucks because the rates were as high as they've ever been for the most part in some of these lanes. And the rates could sustain the prices for these trucks. And so the demand picked up. Y'all remember I made the video where you had Swift talking about they were selling trucks that had 400,000 miles on them for more than what they paid for them brand new. And this actually helped them in their earnings call. They made this acknowledgement in an earnings call where they were talking about their quarterly earnings. So they are alluding to the fact that the stimulus is what pushed these prices up. So right now, y'all, we're dealing with, there's no more stimulus. The stimulus is over. It's done. All right. So now we're in a situation where we're saying, okay, well, what are we going to come back into? Where are we going to what's going to be this the new, I guess, baseline, the new the bottom. And what I'm thinking is going to end up happening, or what I think we're coming into a time period where we're going to probably be dealing with I'm going to show y'all the load board on Landstar real quick. We're coming to a period of time where we're going to probably be dealing with, rates in this range, right? So we'll be looking at, and it might be maybe lower, because I need y'all to understand something. This is an attempt by the government to bring in a correction through economic policy. So they're attempting to correct the mistake that was made by them. In my opinion, the amount of the stimulus that they gave out was a mistake. And they're trying to correct that, pushing too much currency, too much money out here into the system. They're trying to correct that by trying to pull it back. And the process of that's going to be very painful. And we're going to be the first ones to see it in this industry, okay? So y'all are looking, we got, hey, there's some stuff on there paying $3 a mile and so on and so forth. And that's great. We also got stuff paying sub $2 a mile. And right now, the I guess the point of this video is just for y'all to understand that this is going to be the new normal. You keep seeing it. We're back on the Freightways website. Shipping line Hapag-Lloyd suffers big miss as Q3 profits slump. Cargo airlines start off back on aircraft leases. Even these, like Hyliion, they were trying to make a hydrogen power plane. They're going to ditch that business. A lot of this stuff that we saw in our system out here, this was artificial, okay? It wasn't supply and demand. It was kind of supply and demand based because of the stimulus, but the stimulus was not the normal mode of the country's economy. The stimulus was the country's economy that was kind of zoomed up on drugs, all right? And it wasn't going to last, So we're dealing with the after effects of that, the hangover from that, man. So rampant transportation capacity slows in October. And again, I'm on freightwaves.com. If y'all are in this business, y'all need to be looking at this website on a pretty regular basis, just so you have an idea of what's coming down the pike for you. Okay. Another article here. Montana-based brokerage trucking affiliate filed for bankruptcy liquidation. I think we already knew about that. UPS reduces pilot headcount by nearly 200 with buyouts. All right, so they got too many pilots. You see the diesel prices. All right. DHL cuts full year guidance as second half recovery doesn't materialize. All right. So, again, and the big one was Maersk, right? Maersk cutting 10,000 jobs in the face of worsening market conditions. Okay. In addition to layoffs, 2023 to 2024 capital expenditures are slashed by $3.5 billion. All right. So, this is going to be the new normal. Okay. This is going to be, I wouldn't be surprised if we get down to like $1.50 a mile on most lanes, right? And it'll be like, if y'all remember, what was it, 2000 and so that 2007, 2006? Y'all correct me in the comment section. Uh, when the oil price shot up like $120 a barrel, and diesel prices were like 430, 440 a gallon. We had never seen that. And I mean, dude, I was leased onto the company getting like 98 cents per mile. And the fuel surcharge is paying out at like 39, 40 cents, right? And I was still running, man. Um, that's going to probably be what it comes back to. Sadly, it'll be a fairly high fuel price, which is going to be the result of the conflicts. You see, they're trying to wind down this stuff in Ukraine right now, which should take some pressure off the diesel prices. But hopefully, nothing crazy happens in the Middle East. Anyway, y'all are going to have to streamline your operations as best you can. Okay, and when I say streamline, I mean, run tight. If something's not making any money, get out of it and do something else. Some of you guys, if y'all are anywhere in an area where you can get on with a food distribution company, like grocery distribution, that would be my recommendation. Get somewhere that's going to be fairly safe and consistent, where you can run stuff for somebody. They're gonna food's gonna always move. It might slow down a little bit, but it ain't gonna never stop. Get in there doing something like that. And then some of the other, some of y'all other guys, y'all already got your stuff figured out. We do seasonal stuff down here, grain, and we haul grass. And then we'll every now and then we'll do other flatbed stuff too. So this is gonna be the new normal. Like I've said it before, a lot of the guys down where I'm from, they got hoppers and flatbeds. Some of the guys we buy dry vans now because they're baling the cotton different, and they're putting in those. When we gin it, they make it the little square bales. So you get your 2 or 3 trailers. Then you got variety to run what you got to run all year. That's going to have to be the new normal because you're going to have to be somewhat diversified coming into what we're doing now. They're going to be putting so much downward pressure on this stuff to where if your overhead's too high, you ain't going to make it in this business. And that's what we're dealing with now. We're dealing with a shakeout, an intentional shakeout, where they're going to start to try to squeeze everything tighter and tighter. And at the end of that, when the capacity is equalized, when the capacity is a little bit more to the strength of the people who own the equipment or the drivers, then you might see rates increase a little bit. But that's kind of dependent on what the economy does and what the Fed does with this desire to crush inflation with increased unemployment. Because you're not going to be able to get that with 5-6% interest rates and 8% interest rates on home loans. Okay? So y'all just be smart, pay attention to other news, get into your economics. You're going to have to start getting into your economics because this stuff all trickles down to this business, man. And that way you'll kind of know ahead of time what kind of decisions you need to make in your business, reflecting what they're talking about in the greater and the broader economy and economic policy. So I might do a live where y'all can come on here, and if you got questions, you can ask me questions, and we can kind of talk about stuff a little bit more. But that's it for this one. Y'all take care.